You're living that YOLO mindset now. And I'm good with that. God bless you. You drive a Lambo, you're crushing life. I'm not mad. But when you get older and you have, let's say you have kids, you have a wife, your mindset changes. Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Man, you know what? Stories like this, they hurt because it makes you realize the risks that people take to look a certain way or to perform a certain way, and that it might take years and years and years off their lives. And we look at people who might have amazing physiques or might be amazing at a certain sport, and then you realize the sacrifice it takes. I'll never forget growing up watching Ali, watching the highlights of Ali towards the tail end of his career, right? And you're like, this guy's amazing. He's immortal. He's the greatest of all time. And then towards the end of his life, when all the head trauma kicked in and he could barely walk and he's shaking. And then you realize there's a price to be paid for being the greatest. There's a price to be paid for being great. Watching Ronnie Coleman squatting 800 plus pounds, watching Ronnie Coleman deadlift 800 plus pounds 3 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, winning 8 Mr. Olympia titles, 8 Sandouts, watching him barely be able to walk now. The price of greatness. The price of greatness cannot even be calculated by the human mind. How many years do we take off our lives to achieve greatness, to be great at something? Average people live a long time. Great people tend to die too early. So I saw this morning on my Instagram feed, and I want to just read this. And I also wanted to wish my best. This guy is an absolute animal. It might be one of the most impressive physiques I've seen in a long, long time. He's about to go for his pro card, I believe, man. Pro card. So it's just really, it's really sad to see, right? This guy's name is Elliot Dermond, and he is an absolute monster. Absolute monster. So I'm going to read his post. It saddens me to announce that my competition season is over for 2024. I want to be as transparent as possible in the hopes that a young man might learn from my mistakes and experiences. At the beginning of the week, I checked myself into the hospital with a variety of alarming symptoms that I can no longer just attribute to prep or being sick. I had extremely low blood pressure, dizziness, lightheaded, a heart rate that hadn't been under 110 for a week, chest pains, muscle spasms, difficulty breathing, extreme fatigue and weakness, inability to sleep, alongside a few more. Holy crap. Upon arriving at the hospital, it was discovered that I had serious blood clots in my lungs and heart that were putting my heart at serious risk, as well as rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdo is essentially when your kidneys, they're essentially shutting down. Too much trauma, the byproduct of trauma to the muscle, etc., cause an overload to your kidneys. It is very serious, can cause death. If you have followed me for a minute, you know this is my 4th time having rhabdo, and this honestly came as a shock to me. For the first time in my life, seemed like the minor issue at hand. At first, I was hopeful I would still be able to compete in December, but with how long of a hospital stay they wanted me to stay for days upon days, it would be, and the advice from those in my corner and doctors, who decided to put my health first over something that will be there next year. Okay, I want the message taken away from my mistakes is that basics do work. You do not need crazy high doses, and the next best thing will never match the hype. I was taking far too much, and I don't necessarily even mean AAS, steroids. I was, without my coach's permission, trying and taking products and compounds that I believe, and medical professionals believe, cause this all to happen, at least to a certain degree. In the same breath, I was making mistakes daily of overdoing my cardio, over dieting, overtraining, using too much caffeine, taking on too much workload, etc. If I would have just followed what was in my email every week from my coach, then I do not believe this would have happened. I am deeply sorry to everyone that supported me, encouraged me, looked forward to seeing me on stage. That helped me along my journey. I'm getting healthier every day. I'll have an amazing 2025, and I am grateful for the opportunity. Following up, a picture, like a series of reels from his hospital bed. I believe the comeback will always be greater than the setback. Oh, a whole new appreciation for health and ability in 2023. I think that's an old one, actually. I'm just looking through this. Dude's a monster. Like, dude's an absolute monster. So, yeah, this is actually, man, it's hard to look at this stuff, man. It's really hard to see this. It's really hard to look at this and not be the least bit concerned about, yeah, that was old. That was old. So I'm not going to lie. I'm not that serious of a competitor. If I was taking it that hard and I got blood clots in my heart, I'm done. Like, I'm done. This shit is not for me. It's not for my body. Look, I've never done that to that level, right? I have taken a steroid cycle. I have taken steroids, but some people just react differently to compounds. And I'd imagine, like, I'm 220 right now. That guy is 220. Like, I don't even know what he competes at. All I know is he's much better looking than me, much more muscle, much more density, just an absolute freak. Absolute freak. But when is enough, right? Like, when is too much? And I'd hate to see another statistic. We've seen too many great bodybuilders die. And I understand getting a pro card. Look, I'm not going to lie. Getting a pro card, you got lucky. There's nobody in your show. Yeah, you're masters. Like, all right, if it's easy, then fucking do it. Getting a pro card was probably the best athletic achievement in my life. High school, we came close, never won a state title, right? Although I will say I've lived vicariously. My daughter has a state title. My son has a state title. My other son will probably get a state title this year in different sports, soccer, football, wrestling, whatever. A team I coach, they're playing in the state championship next week. God bless them. Oh, glory be to God. I wish them the best of luck. Page High School is playing up in Chattanooga. If you're in that area, please come by and support our Page Patriots. Legacy of Carbon does their strength. Again, I'll be there. I'll be on the sideline, but if you have time, come down to the fence, say hi, shake hands, give a hug, whatever we could do through the fence. Guys, greatness is hard, right? You look at football. Let's say you do everything. Oh, they're not natural either. Okay, let's assume they're natural. Let's just for this argument. Man, they're coming out the game with injuries. Like one of my mentorships when I was with Exos is we had these NFL players there, right? Former NFL linemen. These guys were 40 and under. They weren't even old. Bro, they could barely walk. They could barely move. Their knees, as they said, were literally like ground beef stitched together. Like these guys were a mess. And then you get older, you have CTE. I don't care how many Guardian caps you wear. You're running full speed at a large man, very fast with 300 plus pounds, maybe a little under, maybe 250, full speed. You're going to donk heads. You know, the linemen constantly clanging heads. It's the trenches. It happens. So they know they're going to come out of football with injuries, with aches and pains, and probably brain damage, right? You look at boxing. There was one guy, a UFC guy, I forgot the name. They showed him 10 years before and 10 years after. The guy's doing an interview. He's smooth. He's fluid. In the interview 10 years later, he could barely speak. Dude was talking like Joe Biden. Like, it was tough to watch. But you're going for that greatness. Now, think about bodybuilding. There's really no light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like in football, you're playing high school, you're playing college. You got that dream job. You're on the practice squad in the NFL. You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. If you're on the practice squad, you go, you're on scout team, you're making bank. You're a backup third string quarterback. You're making $6 million a year. Bodybuilding ain't like that. Pros don't get paid. They get paid by winning shows and by sponsorships. There's no money in this sport. And I understand that the drive to win is about more than money. Look, man, my idol growing up was Kirby Puckett. If you guys are old enough to remember, Minnesota Twins, he was an outfielder. Dude was hopping the fence at 5'8", catching fly balls, hitting dingers. My favorite, still my role model as a kid. Kirby Puckett gave up millions of dollars to stay loyal to the Minnesota Twins because for him, it was about more than just the bag. For him, he was getting enough money. He was comfortable. He was loyal to his team. He was loyal to his city. And he loved being a Twin. I understand there's more to life than money. I understand that bodybuilding is goals. It's about winning and it's all about more than the money. But also Kirby Puckett, he died of, unfortunately got glaucoma, got really sick, right? Bodybuilders die early. We're too big, take too many risks, too many compounds. If a gram, dude, like I love Chase Irons to death, but dude's trying to get his test levels up to what, 10,000? I mean, it's insane. It's like if 1 gram's not enough, you're 240 pounds shredded. Well, let's go to 2 grams. If 2 grams aren't enough, well, let's go to 3 grams. 3 grams aren't enough. Let's throw in more insulin. If insulin's not enough, let's throw in these new peptides. If these new peptides aren't enough, let's throw in these other compounds. It's just out of control. Whereas I think there has to be some like mental limit. And I'm not saying we make bodybuilding tested. We already have that. It's natural bodybuilding. I love natural bodybuilding. In fact, I think myself and Doug Miller have given more money to natural bodybuilding through our companies than any individuals in this sport, period. I love natural bodybuilding. Let's be honest. People aren't watching that shit. They are, but not to the level of Mr. Olympia. People want to see big freaks. Same reason people aren't watching arena football to the level they're watching the NFL. People aren't watching 37U. It's still the same sport, but you want to watch the best of the best. You want to watch the freaks. And that's where the freaks get money. That's where the freaks get paid. While they're not getting paid a ton, if you're out of the top 6 in the Olympia, you're not getting a dime. You're just spending money, travel, this, that, and the third. Some of these guys don't even have sponsors. Well, what is the prize? Well, what is the prize? I understand there's more to life than money, but what's the point of winning if you're losing the long-term battle, which is living a long life? I'm really glad that in my 30s that I had a grasp on longevity, that I had a grasp on living long, and I credit that to my first child being born. As soon as, like, I wasn't afraid of death. When I was a kid, like I was around so much bad shit as a kid that I never feared death. I never feared death. It didn't scare me. I'd walk through the worst neighborhoods and people pull up to me and I'm like, okay, kill me, whatever. Didn't bother me because I was not afraid of death. I've never been afraid of death. Once I had my daughter at 25, I have something to live for. There's something bigger than me. My daughter. Then I had my other son a couple years later. Then I had my other son, a few years later, right? And I understood that there's more to life than just competing. There's more than life than just winning. And winning at life is being there to help your children win, to help your children pass on your legacy. And that's why I do it. That's why I care about how long I live. That's why it's really funny in the comments, like, you're going to die, you're on only steroids. Guys, man, I understand. I've held on a lot. I've retained a lot of muscle. I'm still not near these guys. Like I'm 220 at 5'7". That's pretty big, but it's not, like, let's be honest. I stand next to these guys, I look like a bitch. Somebody made a comment on my YouTube comments. I know people tell me not to read those, but I love reading them. And it kind of brings me back down to earth because people really hate me in there. And it's like, well, you look normal in regular clothes. Cool. That's fine. That doesn't bug me. That doesn't bother me at all. It's fine because I'm still able to do things. I'm still able to coach my kids in football. I'm still able to do everything I do. And I think we need to put this in perspective. For those of you, like Togi, I love Togi. I just did a video on him yesterday, right? Love the guy. I've met him, talked to him, talked about a lot of great topics. You guys will see that. It'll be out on YouTube soon on a different channel. You guys are going to love it, right? And I told Togi this. I said that you're living that YOLO mindset now. And I'm good with that. God bless you. You drive a Lambo, you're crushing life. I'm not mad. But when you get older and you have, let's say you have kids, you have a wife, your mindset changes. So I can't be mad at a 22-year-old like Togi getting the bag, getting huge, making gains, not mad at all. But we also need to make sure that they have the information that when you're older, it might come back to bite you and you might have some regrets when you have heart problems, you have kidney problems, when you have all these issues. So if you're doing it, I can sleep better at night when I do videos explaining the downsides to living for a good time, not a long time. I want to have a good time and I want to be here a long time. You can do them both. Will you be as big as my man here? Probably not. No, you're not. He has superior genetics and he trains really hard. Obviously, he got rhabdo. Guy's training hard, eats perfectly, and takes a lot of drugs. So many drugs that he almost died. Do you want that? And if the answer is yes, more power to you. Live your life as you want it to be lived. And if that means going hard and fast and dying at 30 years old, I'm not mad at you. Just like I'm not mad at Ronnie for not having any regrets for blowing out his back and not being able to walk. I am not mad at that. I respect that. I respect that commitment. But I will sleep better at night when I tell people, I put out this video and the dozens and dozens of my fans watch it. I will feel better about myself that I put out the information and warned y'all about this. All right. God bless you guys. God bless everybody. We got tremendous Black Friday sales going on at tigerfitness.com. Now, please go support us. Support us. That's all I got. Support us. We greatly appreciate it. Love you guys. Again, go to tigerfitness.com now. Save, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell. And the older I get as well, I want to explain things. A few weeks ago, I'm not ready to talk about it because things aren't resolved 100% in the situations, right? Meaning contractually, paperwork, all that. Some things happened that really made me understand that there is something greater than us. Basically, I believe in God. I've been agnostic my whole life. I've believed in a higher power, but I am 100% convinced that God is real. And for those of you who know, I'm 42.3% Ashkenazi Jew. My mom served in the IDF. She just passed away a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna stop talking about that now. It's still a little rough. I think I've come to accept that Jesus is real and that God is real. And yeah, I'm still on that journey. I've taken my whole life to kind of figure it out. I question everything. That's my problem. That's why I got in trouble in the 2020 pandemic, because I question things. And it's hard for someone to truly accept God and accept Jesus and accept all this when you question things. And think about religion. It is faith. What does faith mean? It's believing something even though there might not be concrete evidence and proof, which for me is very hard as a science-based thinker. With that being said, when I say God bless you guys, I truly mean it, because to be blessed by God is an amazing feeling. And I wish you guys feel that love from God, feel that love from each other, and we all make the world a better place. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game. Fish oil is one of the staple supplements that you should take. Now, for me, I like to have a 2-to-1 EPA to DHA ratio. Now, DHA is awesome. A lot of cognitive benefits come from DHA, but if you get anti-inflammation and things that we go through as people who want to train, who want to be active, want to feel great, you want slightly more EPA. That's why I created MTS Nutrition Fish Oil. Now, this is a 2-to-1 EPA to DHA ratio. It is fantastic, and it has citrus, so it's not going to give you the fishy burps. And the way we make it, it's not going to be rancid. That's one thing you got to fear. A lot of these fish oils, they can go rancid and actually be more bad than they are good. But we actually don't have that problem with MTS Nutrition Fish Oil. The dosing I recommend will be above label. Label, we just take one soft gel or as directed by a fitness professional or a medical professional. But for me, I like to take 3 grams of total EPA and DHA a day combined. So with that said, I take 5 MTS Nutrition Fish Oil a day. Now, I love my brand. I recommend it. It's a tremendous value. Available right now at tigerfitness.com. If you want a great fish oil, if you want to support a company who loves you, support a company who doesn't hate you, support a company with the best customer service and people, American family-owned company, MTS Nutrition, tigerfitness.com. Get your fish oil today.